It's that time of year again to spray the fruit trees. They are sprayed twice a year with copper fungicide to help control common plant diseases such as downy and powdery mildew, black rot, leaf spot, blight, peach leaf curl, and more. The Neem Max oil prevents and controls major diseases, as well as chewing and sucking insects, and kills eggs, larvae, and adult insects. Examples are gypsy moths, spider mites, white flies, aphids, and borers. Both products are approved for organic gardening. It's recommended to spray 3 times a year, but not being able to spray when it's below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, I cannot spray in the winter. I'll spray in late fall and early spring, when the beneficial insects are not yet present. To a 1-gallon spray container, I'll mix 1 to 2 ounces each solution per gallon of water as per instructions. Read and follow the instructions per your interpretation. I'm going to spray this row of trees first. This is a cherry tree. Then we have a Fuji apple and an Asian pear. Peach tree, which is looking really good this year. This was our plum tree that the aphids killed last year. So we cut it off here to see if it would push any new growth. And then, of course, it did push out a branch from the bottom, which is probably from the root stock, the grafting stock, I'm guessing. And so we're not exactly sure what it might be. So we're kind of doing a little experiment to see what that ends up being. But it does look just like the plum tree. So that'll be interesting to see. Chances are, if it does nothing, we may pull it out. And then we have our nectarine tree, which is looking really good this year. And then we have our sad little Rainier cherry tree that the aphids also killed. And so we cut all the branches back just to see what it would do this spring. And I see it looks like it's pushing, unless that's old, it looks like it's pushing some branches. I'm hopeful. If it's not, we'll end up pulling it out, but it'll be great if it came back. Now I'm going to get to spraying. While spraying, I always wear eye protection to help prevent any product from getting into my eyes, and a face mask. Regardless if the product is approved for organic gardening, I always assume it may be toxic to some degree. I forgot to put on a face mask today until partway through spraying. I think an N95 works best, but I couldn't find it. In addition, I do not spray on a windy day to reduce the possibility of spray coming back on me, though inevitably a breeze always seems to pop up. When I start spraying, I usually pick an inside point of the tree, ensuring I spray the area from the tip to the end of the branch, spraying all sides all the way down to the trunk. And lastly, the immediate ground area at the base of the tree. The tree will be saturated in dripping product, so I'm mindful not to stand or kneel directly under it. Hence, I attempt to work the middle of the tree outward. It's not always a perfect plan, but I do my best. I think treating plants with any products is a personal decision and should be done with research and caution. Follow the methods that suit your gardening style. I prefer a more natural and organic approach. It took me about an hour and I got a total of 10 of the 13 trees done. I started over here with 7 of the fruit trees. Then I had enough product left that I popped over here to do the apple trees. This is a Honeycrisp, a Gala, and a Granny Smith. And I didn't get to spraying them in the fall. I ran out of product and then the temperatures dipped below 40 and you can't spray under 40. So I never got to those. I wanted to make sure I got them done today. And then I have 3 trees remaining, my pears. This is a red Bartlett, a green Bartlett, and a Bosch, however you pronounce it. And I did spray those last fall, but I do need to get to those. And the sun's starting to go down. You definitely want it to dry before evening, so I probably will get out here and finish these in the next few days. And then I think I'm gonna pop over to my blueberries and see about pruning those. I have 3 or 4 that could use some pruning. I planted 3 blueberry bushes last year that were nice and full, and then I have one that I call the OG original that has come back and is doing nicely. So that's 4, and then I have 6 others that are just twigs that for the last couple of years haven't done anything. I'm probably going to take those out. But today I'm going to prune very lightly on these 3 or 4 bushes, only because they're not that long in the ground, only barely a year. And so you're not supposed to like radically apparently prune young bushes that much. So really all I'm going to do today is look for any deadwood or damaged or diseased, take that out, take out anything that is crossing and anything that's super low. And that's where I'm going to start and see what I end up with. This is a super low one that's coming out of the bottom. Just going to get rid of stuff like that. I want to take all this low stuff off. Unless it's really thick and strong, like these new canes, maybe you can see here, they're like the size of a pencil. There's really no point in keeping anything that's super small. And this looks like a cane from maybe a couple years old, and it's pretty kind of low. And I think I'm just going to take that off. Shape it maybe just a little bit. This one looks like it didn't do well from the freeze. It's very brown, a little bit green inside, but doesn't look great. A lot of the tips in the winter time don't do very good, and they get all this dead wood on them. So I like to clean the tips off. A rule of thumb is you want to leave at least 3 old wood canes, so like this one, and this one, that's 3, and then leave, this one's seriously crossing, and then leave new, at least 3 new canes, if not more. And I think it said something like keep 6 to 8, 10 at the max. So I don't know that I'm going to do that today, just because again these have only been in the ground 1 year, and I kind of want to follow that rule, and maybe I'll do a little bit more pruning next year. I'm by no means an expert. I've had blueberry bushes for a number of years, and you can see they're starting to already flower and bud out. Hopefully we don't get any hard freezes. It's been freezing at night, but not too low. I think our low last night was 28. For now, being conservative, I'm going to leave that the way it is. Again, since it's a new plant this last year. Okay, I'm going to move on to the other plants. This is the blueberry bush that I referred to as the OG, and she is about 11 years old, purchase date. Lived most of her life in a grow bag, and then when my daughter-in-law moved out of state, I ended up with her, and then we moved here and wanted to get her out of the grow bag, so I put her in the ground. She's actually doing really well. She was just pretty scraggly, only had this really old cane here, and there's another small one over here, and this guy over here. Looking pretty gnarly. So eventually I think these are going to come off, not this year. I pruned it pretty good last year, and you can see all this new growth it pushed right here out of the base of the stalk here. So it has a lot of new growth. So I'm going to leave most of it as is for this year, but there's a little bit of trimming I can do on it to take off some of this older dead wood that's not doing a whole lot. So on this side I have this little guy that Probably won't do a whole lot. I don't like to take too much off of her because she is, you know, pretty sparse. But I'm gonna go ahead and just take off most of the little frozen dead wood from this past winter and just clean her up a little bit and let her go through the season with her original canes. There really isn't that much to take off. She's pretty hardy. Similarly, I bought blueberry bushes at the same time, and I put mine in the ground. After 2 years being in containers, I put them in the ground at our last house, and by the time I moved, they were enormous. So I have high hopes that she'll rebound and catch up. I got everything off of it that I can. So we'll take a close-up of what they look like now. This is the first one I did and pruned, and again I left quite a bit of it but got all that dead wood out, and you can see that I have 1, 2, 3 old wood canes that still have quite a bit of flourishing canes coming off of them. So rule of thumb, left those, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of new canes. I might take this one off because it's crossing over this guy, and you don't want that. And you didn't really get to see much of this because I had it on time lapse, but this one has now 1, 2 old canes. That looks like it's somewhat aged as well, so we'll call that 3. And then 1, I got to take this guy off. See how low he is coming out of the ground? I'll go ahead and take him off. It's always nice to take that second look and see the things you missed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new ones. And this guy is crossing here, but I don't want to take him out because I would rather take out an old cane maybe. So I'm going to leave those for now. OG one that I just did. And you can see a little closer up here is that really old wood here, and it's got one little sprout coming out it with quite a few buds. And then this guy has, what I'll do is I might leave him. We'll see how these guys do, and just take off this one curly branch to start. And then that means I'll have at least 2 old wood still for this going forward until these get a little bit older. But yeah, I'll probably take this out. Then I have all these whips that I didn't really even show, that are these blueberry bushes. These are Duke variety that I got in a big pot from a nursery that was just getting rid of them. And I planted them. This is their 3rd year, and I really thought they would do better, but our soil is not great for blueberries, so I really have to amend it for that. But they have just really struggled. However, this last one is actually pushing some new growth here at the bottom, which is encouraging. And there's one other that has done that. So I'm actually going to put a 16-foot row of boysenberries right here. So I'm going to take out these little guys, and I'm going to put a cattle panel here and put the boysenberries that my sister's propagating for me, which are the boysenberries I propagated for her from our old house. So I'm going to put boysenberries here. I'm going to dig those out. Maybe I'll just put those in pots and just see how they do, because these two, I did go ahead and just prune these twigs back. You can hardly see them. They blend into the mulch. I'm kind of inclined to buy a couple more newer ones, pop them here, take these 6 out, put them in grow bags, and then just see how they do and see if I can revitalize them. But anyway, so that takes care of pruning them this spring. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.